Hello fans, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's King Kelechukwu Kenzo. King Kelechukwu Kenzo. Today we are going to be discussing stomach, comma. We are going to be discussing stomach, hydrochloric acid, and ulcer. Now, please like, share this video. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. There are three things you will learn from this video. The number one thing is that I'm going to tell you how the smell of food, the taste of food, and the thought of food can trigger ulcer. The smell of food, the taste of food, and what can trigger ulcer. Now, some of us are good in going to a restaurant without eating anything. You go and perceive the aroma of food in the restaurant. That aroma you are perceiving can cause you ulcer. It can trigger ulcer. That is the number one thing you will learn. Then the second thing you will learn is that if hydrochloric acid can burn the wall of the stomach, why does H. pylori escape the effect of hydrochloric acid? Now, H. pylori is Helicobacter pyloris. It's what? A gram-negative bacteria that can be found in the wall of the stomach. Not only in the wall of the stomach, I will describe the main region or the main part of the stomach that you can find hydrochloric acid, because it is what? A bacteria. Now, if this, so like I said, where you can find this hydrochloric acid and where you can find this H. pylori. But remember, this hydrochloric acid can burn the wall of the stomach. Now, the stomach is divided into four main parts or four regions. Here is called the cardia. The fundus, now the stomach is divided into four main parts or region. Here is called the cardia. Along this side is called the fundus. Here is called the body, which is the main part of the stomach. Here is the pylori. Now, this line is called the pyloric antrum. The pyloric antrum is the part of the pylori that join the pylori with the body. Pyloric. Now, here pyloric canal is called the pyloric canal. Now, there is a sphincter that is found around here that permits the influx of stomach content into the duodenum, because here is the part of the small intestine called the duodenum. Now, there is a sphincter that is found here, they call it pyloric sphincter. Now, what happened is each of these part of the stomach have different functions that they play in order to secrete gastric juice. Now, gastric juice are those fluid that is responsible for causing mechanical or chemical digestion in the stomach. Now, there are different cells that are found in different parts of the stomach. Now, here, these lines are the layers of the stomach. Now, the layers of the stomach is divided into 4 layers. The stomach layers is divided into 4 layers. Now, remember I said the stomach regions or part is divided into 4. Now, the stomach layers is divided into 4. Number 1 is the mucosal layer. Number 2 is the submucosal layer. The third muscularis layer. The fourth is the serosal layer. Now, within that mucosal layer is embedded with different cells that secrete different fluid. This mucosal layer houses a lamina propria and epithelium tissues that secrete different hormone fluid, or it contains cells that secrete different fluid. Now, within this epithelium, let's say this is the epithelium layer, for instance, this is the epithelial layer. Within this epithelial layer, there is a pit, small hole. They call it gastric pit. Within that gastric pit, there is what they call gastric glands. It is the gland that is responsible for production of different fluid. Now, the cardia of the stomach secrete mucus. This part contain a cell that secrete mucus. Now, this part contain a cell that secrete mucus and what they call gastrin. I will explain the function of each of these. Now, this part contain a cell that secrete different things. Number 1, the cells secrete hydrochloric acid, and one of that cell is called the parental cell. Now, it is the parental cell in the body of the stomach that secrete hydrochloric acid. And what is the function of this hydrochloric acid? 1, the function of the hydrochloric acid is it is responsible for the acidity of the stomach content. Now, the acidity ranges from 1.5 to 3.5. Number 2, the parental cell secrete what they call intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor, it is responsible for absorption of vitamin B12 in the small intestine. Then another one is what they call mucous neck cell. The mucous neck cell is also responsible for secretion of hormones, which we'll be discussing one after another. Now, this is the summary of the region of the small intestine. I'm going to be explaining. This is a summary of the region of the stomach. I'm going to be explaining the functions of each fluid that different cells secrete in the stomach.